Welcome everyone to a cash collector's testimonial with the Punjabi king himself,
Rohan,
Rohan, the one and only, coming into a very well-known name within the space as he is today. So, Rohan, introduce yourself to everybody watching, my man.
My name is Rohan, as you already know. I've been working with Jack for 3 months at this point. 21, I'm still in university. I still make time for it. I'm still putting in the work. I'm still putting in the effort. I'm still printing. I'm still learning. It's been a cool process. It's been a quick 3 months. It's been a busy 3 months. But I'm excited for what's ahead.
Yeah, this motherfucker has literally been, you have been unstoppable, bro. For the whole thing. I remember when you joined, one of my guys on the team said that you are the type of guy who can eat McDonald's every day and still have a six-pack and still be strong-headed.
Yeah,
because you are just that guy, that unstoppable motherfucker who wants to fucking just win at everything. I had an interesting question for you. What made you decide, one, to look into a way to make money online, two, then actually take action towards it?
Yo, look, I've always been looking for, I've always been ambitious. I've always been willing to put in hard work. Ever since I was a kid, I was selling digital shark cards. I was selling shit on eBay. At the start of this year, I was doing Amazon FBA. I haven't told you this before. From January to March, I was doing Amazon FBA.
Yeah.
Just because I had some friends doing it, and I was making good money. Actually, that's a lie. I wasn't losing money. All right, and I thought that was okay. It was a good start. And then from April to June, July, I was doing a lot of time doing content. I was making my own content. I was just getting my message out there because I saw a lot of my friends doing well who were making money in the online space, who built up their personal brand. They made an offer, they started to sell. And I was like, that's the way. And then when I talked to Jack, I don't know how. I didn't even know what closing was before I met him. I didn't know what appointment setting was before I met him. But I don't know how he even ended up my algorithm, but he did. And then I followed him. And he had some cool things to say. He sent me a message. I ended up on a call with him. And I was like, yeah, dude, you seem to have a cool product, but maybe, when I have my brand bigger in a year's time when I graduate university, then maybe I'll consider investing, and then I can start making some money. And then he just tells me, we go through that process of internalization and what your goals are. And he's like, dude, what's more important, your goals or the vehicle? And I was like, shit, I guess I'm thought about it that way. Just the goals, getting to the destination that I want is way more important. And then he was kind of in what way does it make sense to delay, to push it another 6 months, another year? Why not take action now? And don't get me wrong, it wasn't that easy. I gave him a bunch of think about it. But we went through that kind of conversation, and then I realized that maybe this does leverage my skills better than everything else. Maybe this is the best place to put my ambition. And that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, definitely. I think for somebody like you, bro, who obviously coming from a background of martial arts and competing in combat sports, I always see those people fucking excel, because when you're put in those situations of do or die, you inevitably have to do or you get fucked up, right? And every session you have to come back bigger, better, stronger, because if you don't, then you end up getting fucked up by the same guy week in, week out, and he just gets dubs over dubs over dubs over dubs. So when you look back on the last, how long have we been working together now? Since July, right?
3 months max.
Yeah, 3 months. When you look back on the last 3 months, what has been your biggest turning point that's actually led you to a point where it's fuck it, I'm fully committed now, I'm not going to let anything get in the way, and this is going to be the first stepping stone into me now making a considerable amount of money?
Gee, I think I made fairly quick progress at the start, but I think what switched it for me was when I got my first offer, and I think I made basically my monthly salary in a week. Of me being a month into closing, I was like, fuck, I didn't know that this was possible this early on. And when I thought about what I was doing then, and then about where I could be in 12 months time, as opposed to joining some graduate job, I was like it's just a no-brainer. And I think from that point on, I was like I'm all in. The bar is low, I can't lie.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much to just get to being at a point where you can make money, and way more than you used to. The bar is low.
It is.
And at that point, I think I realized shit, everything I want can be achieved through this.
What would you say then, since the bar's so low, based on the closers that you've connected with, we'll go 2-part question. The first one, what's the biggest problem that you see other people face? And then what was the biggest problem that you faced in the last 3-4 months?
I think the biggest thing, like especially guys outside of cash collectors, like obviously I've talked to other guys too, who are in the closing space.
Sure.
And I was on an offer too, where I was like teaching people, like it was like an offer for closing. And I think the biggest thing that holds most people back is like the internal side, like the internal mastery. Like you can't expect someone to hand over 10k if you're not willing to do the same thing, or you can't expect someone to shift their identity and their perspectives in like an hour if you're not willing to do the same thing. And I think before, like I thought the mental side was always like kind of nonsense. Like when I went to go to like jiu-jitsu and training, I was always like the guys who come to the gym with all the confidence of like you're a prick. Like, and I'm the guy who shows up, and I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter how much confidence I have. It doesn't matter what I think or say. It just matters that I shows up. Like, to a certain extent, that's true. Like, your actions matter. But like, I didn't realize until recently that like, the mental side is just incredibly important because it just affects the way that you make decisions. It affects the way that you view life. Like, it affects so many different things. But I didn't realize that until recently. Like, I think the mental side is incredibly underrated. Like the internal mastery.
Definitely. What would you say is the most underrated part about actually everything like that?
I think it just sounds like for me, I always thought that I just didn't need to, this sounds terrible, I always thought that I just didn't need to believe in myself as long as like I just did the work. And to a certain extent, true. As long as I'm just doing the work,
Sure, okay.
fine. But like that whole, I just think it's less tangible. Like it's just harder to, like it's not ROI. If I say internally master myself, I'm not immediately going to earn more money, maybe straight away. Or I'm not saying like, like I just put $100 in, I got $1,000 out. I think it's just harder to get your grips around. And it takes a lot of processes that you're not comfortable with, like maybe like journaling every single day, just being in your own mind, like holding yourself to a higher standard. I think it's partly underrated because it's difficult.
And you know something as well, when you mentioned before about Matthew McConaughey, how he's like very in tune with his thoughts, and it made me kind of reflect and realise that a lot of people aren't in tune with their thoughts. They have thoughts and they associate themselves with that. They think like, fuck, like I am this because I think this. And so when you, I guess even before like before you start to make money online, what would you say is like your biggest problem then in like actually trying to gain traction and making money and how does that tie into like the whole internal world, if it does at all?
I think the biggest thing that held me back in the past was like lack of consistency. I think it was like, I think I just openly admit, like I must have been an easy close, because maybe I wasn't. But I remember like I went back on the Instagram recently, and you or your setter messaged me and they said like, what do you think's been holding you back? I just went immediately internal. I was just like, me. It's like me, I just haven't been consistent enough. And I think that's that isn't like an honest answer. Like shit I've done in the past, like maybe content or FBA or like other endeavors I've done in the past. Like I would do the work, I'd see some results, and then when you hit like that first roadblock, maybe I get past it. But when I hit that second roadblock and you start to get those diminishing returns, it's like I just didn't know what to do, and it would just fizzle out. And that's on me entirely. But I think going through the internal mastery process, being like having you by my side, having the other boys by my side, having people to support me, but like also just for me to understand in my mind that like everything I want is just on the other side of, if I'm willing to push through this hard bit, like it's hard because no one else is willing to do it, then everything I want is on the other side of that. Like I went through the same thing with closing. Like I had a lot of results at the start, and then I probably had like a dry season of about a month, where like probably a month and a half, where it's like I was going offer to offer to offer, and I just didn't find the results that I wanted. And it was partly a function of me, and it was partly a function of the offer. And I was like, dude, if I can just push past this, then I can get what I want. And I think now I'm in a fairly good place. And I think being able to push past like those points where you kind of have like dry seasons, or where you have those diminishing returns, or where you hit a roadblock, and then just knowing in your own mind that like if I can just push past this, and knowing that you've been here before, and knowing that you can be consistent, I think it helps.
Something so mad is that I remember when I made my first bit of money online after like 5 months of literally like fucking nothing, and there's a video of me talking, like answering the question on Instagram, you know, and people like ask me questions or whatever. Like I did one of them, and someone said like, what do you do when you hit a brick wall? And I just took like a selfie of me with a skinhead, and I put as the caption like, live with the peace of mind that you'll make it. And I was like, damn, like that was actually a bar. And how do you get through it? Like when you have those fucking roadblocks, and you can feel the friction, the resistance internally, externally, and you think, fuck, I've got uni, I've got this, I've got that. You have so many more reasons to quit. What keeps you pushing through that?
Yeah, like I can see your perspective there. It's kind of certainty of outcome, but like not when. And I think that seeing yourself, seeing other guys who've also been in a very similar position, who've also been through those exact periods, knowing that knowing that I've seen results before, knowing that I can in the future, like it gives me certainty of outcome. And like of course, like it's fucking tough. Like if it wasn't, then like there's reasons why
Everyone
people
would be a
drop
bum.
off.
Yeah,
Exactly, like,
yeah, 100%.
it's the same shit like in jiu-jitsu. Like okay, everybody's a white belt, and then maybe like 10% people get to blue belt, and 10% of those get to purple. And it's like at each roadblock, like people kind of fall off, and like sure you might see some rapid results at the start, and then just being able to push through it, knowing that like if I just keep showing up and doing the work, despite like we saw a bird today flying, and it reminded me of like it reminded me of some shit. Like, it was like a bird. It was fucking windy as shit. You remember this? It was
on
bird,
top of the fucking
windy as
Table
shit, and it was like
Mountain, yeah.
flapping as hard as it fucking could, and it was just stuck in
In the
space
wind.
and time.
It was
And
crazy.
it's like you can literally run as fast as you can, and still be in the same place. And it's like knowing that if I could just, I'm still running as fast as I can, but at least I'm not taking a step back, and at least I'm putting the work in. And then if I can just push past this, everything I want is on the other side, because I have the certainty of outcome in my mind, which I didn't have before. I didn't know whether everything I wanted was on the other side of it. I just didn't. But the certainty of outcome now, and I think that took a while to get.
What do you feel conditions people to keep fucking, like that bird, for example, where they run as fast as they can but stay in the same place? Like what happens that leads people to do that? It's not a great way to phrase the question, but do you see where I'm going with it? Like what is it that keeps people in that loop of like trying to flap their wings but just getting fucking destroyed by the wind?
No, like I think it's normal. Like I think there's just going to be periods where you are just trying as hard as you can and you're not seeing the results that you want. And I think that partly your success is a function of how long are you willing to work without seeing results. And like obviously if you're just being an idiot and you're just not doing the right work, then you're not going to see the results you want regardless. But if you know for a fact that you're putting in the right reps, that you're putting in the right time, that you're doing everything the right way to as like the extent that you know you can, then the longer that you're willing to go without seeing like instant gratification, instant reward, I think the more likely it is that you can see success. Like I went a month, right? Some people go years, right?
Yeah.
Some people go like years and decades without seeing any results. Like you see like Instagram pages, like Chris Williamson, like I like him, he's my favorite podcaster. He went like 3 years of doing a podcast like 2-3 times a week, every single week for 3 years before like he got like any money out of it, because he just did it for the love of the game. You know what I mean? And I think the longer that you're willing to just stick it out for, the more likely it is, because it's just a function of volume and reps.
Isn't it so interesting how the people who have the biggest love for the game are the people who make the most progress? Why do you feel like that? Because it's something that I've noticed a lot as well. It's like people who genuinely have a love for the climb up the mountain, if you like, rather than just looking at it for the view. They always make more money. They always have more progress. They always actually enjoy the fucking thing, the whole trip and journey more. In your mind and from your perspective, like why do you feel like that is? Or if you don't feel like that, why do you feel like it isn't?
Yeah, like if it was just about, like if it was free, I wouldn't do it, right? If I was making, like I wouldn't do it, but still, if it was, it's not binary. It's not like is it money or is it not. There's still something in the middle where it's like it also affects things. Like if Chris wasn't willing to go 3 years without money, right, and just do it for the love of the game, he wouldn't be in the position he is now. And like for me, knowing that A, it leverages my skills well, but B, like knowing that like it gets a bad rap sometimes, closing and sales and like the online info space, just because it's like people think it's scams. Or like sure, there's some people out there, but like it's not everyone, right? And it's just a bit of a limiting belief. But like knowing that I can actually help people and seeing the people that I onboard fucking crush it and make like good money, like I onboarded one guy recently. I onboarded a week later, he makes $4,000. That's like half the price of the product.
Fuck.
Or like another lady that I onboarded, like a week later she had her first Airbnb property up and running within a week.
No way.
And already making money from it.
Damn.
And like knowing that you can actually help people, it's like, let's say you don't make a sale. I'm not annoyed that I didn't get the money. Like of course a part of me is. But if it was just about the money, like the conversation gets argumentative, you get frustrated, and you get frustrated yourself and also the prospect. But if you actually want to like help people to a certain extent, then it's like I'm just upset. I'm upset that I didn't get to help someone, and I'm also upset at myself that I didn't put them in the right position to help themselves. Right? And I think having that perspective around it helps me push through it longer, because I know it can help people. Like I'm not going to jump on something that's like how to gamble, or just something like I don't know, just something silly.
Yeah, I get you.
It's like I know it can help people, and I think having that certainty of like I'm helping people and also I'm helping myself allows me to push through some of those periods for a bit longer. I think other people too.
So when you look, what is ultimately then the biggest way that you've helped yourself in overcoming things that you've seen have come up or been in the way of you walking through the fire?
It's just doing it yourself. Like, I can't expect someone to hand me over a certain amount, or I can't expect someone else to make a risky decision. Like, I come from an Asian household, like it's very scarcity mindset. Like before this, I didn't really take many big risks, very risk averse. Like, I do MMA, but like even my combat sports style was super like risk averse. I was just doing it to win points and stuff like that. But I think since then, my capacity for risk and my risk tolerance has increased significantly. Even going on this trip, like meeting some strangers online, but just in other areas of my life too. Like internally mastering myself, like improving my own risk tolerance, improving my own willingness to go out there, like make a dent in the world, has improved my success significantly. Because if I can challenge myself, I can challenge others to do the same.
Yeah, it's fucking sick. I think that you'll definitely, well, not I think, I know that you will continue to leave like such a massive trail of impact as you fucking march up through the mountain. So that you can hold yourself accountable to this video, let's say that you watch this by this time next year on November is it the 5th today? Yeah, November the 5th, 2026. You look back at this video, where do you want to be looking back on this moment?
12 months time. Like, 12 months time. Like, okay, I'll do the monthly ones quick, but like, I'll do the other ones in a sec. But like, 12 months time, 20k a month. Like, that's the goal. Like, at this point, like, university will be well out of the way. I can do this shit full time. Like, everything I do now is on like 1 call a day. And I'm still seeing very similar results to everybody else. And if I improve my capacity to like 5 calls a day, 7 days a week, like, I know I'm gonna crush it. So 20k a month. I want to be able to support my parents more in the way that I wanted to, like take them on holidays and help them in that regard. But more importantly, kind of just living authentically, like just being like the truest version of myself, like not changing myself necessarily to other people, doing the things that I want, not worrying about the fear of judgment, kind of overcoming those internal limitations. Like really the most important thing is like the self-discovery. I just want to be in a position where like I'm more comfortable just being myself, and I think that'll lead to the success that I want in 12 months' time.
Definitely. Who is the person that you want to be looking back at this? And
That's a good question. The version of me like that I want to look back at myself at 12 months' time, who like is doing the 20k months and like has a fucking Porsche, all that type of shit. He is the type of person who is willing to take risks. He's not the type of person who bows down to other people. He's the type of person who's willing to be like emotionally raw with himself. He's willing to be honest with himself and others. He's willing to prioritize like himself before other people, and like he can go to bed each night and say like I'm doing the best I can. That's really all you can ask of yourself.
Yeah, that's fucking sick, bro. And I like that because, well, for many reasons really, but if I had to pinpoint one, I like it because of the level of fulfillment that like you genuinely feel when you reach a level of authenticity. Like you're not afraid of like the external image that people associate to you. When you step into that, it's like you almost unlock this fucking door of ease. There's like less resistance. It doesn't feel like every step's not like knee deep in the fucking mud. You know, you're kind of just out of the mud a little bit, maybe up to your ankles instead of your knees. Like maybe you're still in it a bit, but you have those feelings of just fucking like less weight on your shoulders, more momentum forward. Obviously we started at 0 3 months ago, and now we're in November. Where did you finish? We're in the beginning of November. Where did you finish in October, like cash collected wise?
For just October.
For just October, yeah.
So I didn't work for like the first 2 weeks of October. I was on a different offer.
Yeah, sure.
But the last 2 weeks of October, I had some calls. I think I had like 1 call every other day. In that time, I hit I think it was like a 45% close rate. I pulled in like 18.7k cash collected and about 38k revenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, G. Fuck, so you made pretty much 2k in the last 2 weeks whilst taking like 1 call a day.
1 call every other day.
1 call every other day. Fuck, so you took like 7 calls. So you worked essentially like, let's say 10 hours.
Yeah, actually that's not, yeah, it's 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worked 10 hours and made 2k.
Yeah.
So just imagine even if we fucking like, let's say you work 20 hours a week and we 4x it. It's like fucking 8k.
Yeah.
Bro, you're actually gonna cook. I'm looking forward to it. Shit, man. Well, this has been fucking sick, bro.
Oh,